These days, optimizing your website speed is absolutely essential. Google have announced that it's one of the important ranking factors for SEO. Plus, if you've got a sluggish website, then less people are going to spend time on your website. It's going to be hard to navigate. And overall, it's just going to cost you sales, time, and conversions. So it's really important to get this right. And that's why I've created this video on 5 ways to increase your website speed that are proven and easy to do. So yeah, let's get into the video. But before we do that, please make sure you subscribe and hit the bell for notifications too. Okay, so tip number 1, and this is really quick. Pick the right servers for your website before you host your site, because not all servers are created equal, and you have to be really careful about which company you go for, not only for speed, but also for reliability too. And hosting is such an important asset, when it comes to creating a website. So yeah, just be really careful with this. Not all servers are created equal. Some are built with speed in mind, and some are incredibly slow. So you have to be really careful about this. So for example, like I previously used HostGator, they were pretty slow. And then when I switched to SiteGround, I saw a massive improvement. So that's just something to be aware of. You should also minify the CSS, JavaScript, and HTML on your website. So if you've ever looked at the code on your site, such as the CSS, it looks really complicated, and you've probably seen all those line spaces and things that break it up and make it a lot easier to read. But the problem is this slows down the site, and it can, the complexity of your code can make it slower and harder to load. So what you can do by minifying your CSS, HTML, and all those sort of things is you make it a lot more efficient. The code itself becomes more efficient, which makes it easier to load, which makes your website speeds faster overall. Now, although you could do this manually and you could go through every single line of code, I definitely wouldn't recommend that, unless you know exactly what you're doing with code. Instead, you can use a plugin like WP Rocket. I think there are other plugins out there that you can use as well. And this will do it with just a click of a button. So it's super easy to do, and it will save you a lot of time in the long run. Next up, I'd recommend using a content delivery network, or what's also known as a CDN for your site. And basically, this will speed up your site by, hosting all the static elements of your website. So for example, like your CSS, your JavaScript, your images, on a remote server that's optimized for speed. So when someone uses your website, all those static elements load a lot quicker, and it improves the speed of your site. And it does sound a little bit complicated, but it's actually super easy to set up. Just requires a little bit of code, and yeah, it's definitely worth doing. Also, the other thing is it's free to do on the basic package. I've actually used Cloudflare for this, but there are loads of CDNs out there available for you to use. Next up, you should also optimize images on your website. Okay, so if you have images in your content and your articles, then you know that some of these files have huge file sizes, and they can take ages to load, which makes your website slower. Okay, but you can't just get rid of all the images on your site, because then your content is going to be less engaging. You have to keep them, right? So instead, what you can do is compress the files so that they're a smaller file size, but they keep the same quality. Now, you could do all of that manually, but it just doesn't make sense for your business, because it's going to waste a lot of time. Instead, what you can do is use a plugin like ShortPixel. And with this plugin, you can actually click a button and just compress all your files instantly, which will save you a lot of time and increase the speed of your site. And finally, I would remove or at least optimize the adverts on your site, okay? Because when you've got adverts on your site, such as Google AdSense or Mediavine, they can be intrusive, they can be oversized, and overall they can slow down your website, especially if they're like advert videos as well. So you have to be really careful with this. And this doesn't mean you have to completely wipe out the ads on your site, but you should speak to your media partner to figure out, okay, how can you optimize them? So for example, with Mediavine, you can click a button and it optimizes the adverts on your site. And you might take a slight hit on your revenue, but at least you sacrifice some of your revenue for increased usability on your site, which may make you more money in the long run. And there you have it. That's 5 quick and easy ways to increase your website speed that are proven to work. So yeah, thanks for watching. Let me know in the comment section below if you have any tips, or if you found anything else that increases your website speed. And yeah, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up as well if you enjoyed watching it.